And talking about elections, the Philippines will pick its next president on Monday, in a few days from now. But even before the first votes are cast, one frontrunner is making all the headlines: Ferdinand Marcos Jr., also known as Bongbong Marcos. For our viewers from the Philippines, that might sound like a familiar name. Bongbong Marcos is the son of Ferdinand Marcos Sr. He was a dictator who ruled over the Philippines in the 1970s. Now, the same Marcos family is making a political comeback, and not everyone is happy about it. Our next report tells you why.
After dictator Ferdinand Marcos announced martial law in the Philippines, Christina Baugan was taken in as a political prisoner. She still has the dress she wore the day she was arrested, tortured, and sexually abused by the soldiers.
This is the duster that I was wearing when they arrested me without a warrant of arrest. And then this was also what I was wearing when they brought me to the safe house. As you can see, it was torn over here when they were interrogating me. And they fondled my breasts and went on to other forms of torture.
Baugan now fears those days could return. The Marcos family is staging a comeback. The former dictator's namesake's son could become president next week. 64-year-old Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. is miles ahead of his competitors. He had an unprecedented 45-point lead over his closest rival in recent polls. Marcos Jr.'s father, Ferdinand Marcos Sr., imposed martial law in 1972. More than 50,000 people were arrested. This included opposition leaders and pro-democracy protesters. Over 11,000 citizens suffered human rights abuses. There were 1,900 cases of torture. It is believed that 2,300 people died during martial law as a direct result of state crackdown. But rights groups predict the actual number of victims was much higher. Marcos Sr. was ousted in 1981. He fled with his family to Hawaii. Now his son, Marcos Jr., is hoping to make a comeback on the back of a decades-long public relations campaign. A campaign that was designed to repair the image of the family. Most of his supporters are below 30 years of age. These are voters who were not even born when Marcos Sr. imposed a martial law. For them, Marcos Jr. is a refreshing new choice. Backing him is Sara Duterte, the daughter of outgoing President Rodrigo Duterte. She is running for vice president. The duo are promising to end corruption and bring back prosperity.
Sa aking mga kababayan,
the elections on Monday is a crossroad to our journey. I only ask two things from you. First, in the middle of the crisis, we should brace and prepare for a better tomorrow where we are united. Let us turn our backs on disagreements and divisions, and let us embrace a unifying leader that will bring us a brighter future.
Numero 7 sa balot.
Challenging Marcos is current Vice President Leni Robredo. She is presenting herself as the true alternative to the likes of Duterte and Marcos. Robredo has had a difficult relationship with President Duterte. She has criticized his war on drugs and spoken out about the human rights issues during his rule. Champion boxer Manny Pacquiao is also in the race. He too is making similar promises.
What Manny Pacquiao wants is not riches. I have no intention to be popular. What I want is to help my constituents, to help my people who came from the impoverished sectors. Those people are the ones I'd like to help out and imprison those who are corrupt in the government.
But none of the other candidates have been able to turn their speeches into votes. If the present trends hold, a victory for Bongbong Marcos is certain.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.